So you both are extremely influential in the community, and I know you pass your practices and sold your practices on. Is your health thriving, or is it merely surviving? Welcome to Thriving with Chiropractic, where we unpack conditions and lifestyle challenges in order for you to be the best version of health you can possibly be. I'm your host, Dr. Mosier, and my beautiful co-host is my wife, Ellen. Join us on this journey to thrive. Hey folks, Dr. Mosier here, and I have Jack and Gene Hedrick with me, and they have been in our community for years, so I'm so glad to have you guys. Jack, let's start with you. How long have you been in practice as an eye doctor?
Well, I was practicing for 60 years until, 4 years ago? Yeah, until 4 years ago.
And how old are you now?
88.
88.
Yep.
Awesome.
He's about the same age. He is older, though, by the way.
20 minutes older.
He's 20 minutes.
Do you ever let him down on that? You know.
Well, I was the only one that's supposed to have been born, because back then they didn't know there was two of us.
Oh, okay.
So actually he was a sort of an afterthought that, oh, there he is. There's another one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Gene, how long were you in practice?
59 years.
You almost made it to 60.
Just about.
And you were the local dentist,
Yes.
here in town. So, why did you become a dentist?
Well, I started out thinking I wanted to be an engineer, and I went to Purdue one year. Both of us did. And I tell my Purdue friends I went to Purdue one year, but then I decided to get an education and went to Indiana. So that always goes a little well. But I really wasn't certain about engineering and so forth, and there was other circumstances why we transferred to Indiana, and then I just took a liberal arts course, well, actually a science course, and till I decided, which I didn't know for maybe a couple of years, and why I decided, I don't know. I had a roommate that was in pre-dental, and he sort of told me the advantage of it and so forth and so on. But anyway, I became a dentist. He became a TV announcer. So it didn't work that good, like he wanted it to.
So, is that what you wanted to do? Is be a TV announcer?
No.
No.
No, I didn't want to be a TV.
No, okay.
He did. That's what he ended up doing. I said he started.
Not me.
He was interested in.
Oh, my bad.
The roommate I had was interested in dentistry, but he didn't follow through with that. So he was the one that became the
TV announcer. Okay. Well, Jack, what made you become an eye doctor?
Well, the School of Optometry was a division. It wasn't even a school when I was there. In fact, I was in the 3rd class.
Mm-hmm.
They just opened this and just had a new faculty, and everything was brand new, except we were in the health center basement, because we didn't have any buildings or anything. We just had to take what they had. So I don't know, one of my classmates said, "Why don't you apply for optometry? They need some students, you know." I said, "Okay." That's about how long it took me to decide to go to the optometry school, and I haven't regretted that at all. Not at all. It's a good field, and it has continued to improve in many ways.
Well, speaking of improving, so you've been in practice 60 years and 59 years. So how has your practices changed over the years? What kind of changes have you seen?
Well, of course, the technology has changed tremendously, and just the improvements in all types of patient care. It's made it easier for the dentist. Mm-hmm. We always stood up when we practiced when I first started, and we didn't have a chair. And now you sit down and you have the patient here in your lap, with the head of the patient here in your lap. And back then you did everything standing up. That has improved tremendously, because I know I probably would have saved my back by now. But you know, I practiced during the time that we did sit down. My later part of my practice, I had that capability. So things, you know, just the aesthetics of dentistry is the pain-free treatment. There's just so many things that dentists can do now that when we first started, that sort of was not high-end tech at that time. So it's all changed for the good too. And I do want to comment on the dentists that I practice with here in town. Were all first class. We didn't have competition. We all got along so well, and they were all good dentists, and we all looked out for each other. So it was a nice arrangement of it was good.
Well, Jack, how has your practice changed over the years?
A lot. When I graduated, the main focus of an optometrist was refractive, doing refractions to try to determine the prescription that a person needs in their glasses. And that's also, at the time, contact lenses were just brand new. And we were doing all hard contact lenses. We didn't have any soft lenses or any gas perm, or so it was a brand new field at the time. And at that time, the emphasis was on refraction and not anything about medicine. Now the emphasis is, most optometrists do a lot of what the ophthalmologists used to do. When I started out, ophthalmology did all the health portions of the eye examination, and I had the opportunity to work for Dr. Schmidt for about 8 years down in New Albany, and he taught me a lot about the medical end of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really known what was going on. Now, the graduate is instructed in the medical end of it to a great deal more, and so they're pretty self-sufficient now, more so than we were. I think the main focus was a good one, in that cataracts back then were something you didn't do until you just had to, because it was called, when the ophthalmologist did a cataract surgery, he took the lens out and they didn't implant a new one in there. So the patient was left with a very, very high refractive error. So you had to wear real thick glasses after cataract surgery, or contact lenses. So that's when contact lenses really got going good, because people didn't want to wear those real thick glasses that a phakics had. And so when ophthalmologists started doing implants, it improved the situation with cataract surgery tremendously. And optometry then was co-managed with the ophthalmologist, and did the pre-work and the post-work after the ophthalmologist had removed the cataract and put the implant in. So there was a lot of cooperation there, and there still is.
Nice. Well,
So that's what changed probably more than anything.
Wonderful. So you both are extremely influential in the community, and I know you passed your practices and sold your practices on. You sold yours to Tricia Wheeler, correct? Now, did she come to you and intern with you before becoming a dentist? Did you help guide her to become a dentist?
Not really. Actually, I wasn't even aware that she had graduated as a dentist, and at that time I had some thoughts about finding someone, and she actually came to me and said, you know, that she'd like to start a cooperation with us, and which was what we did. And she was there several years, and we had the we knew when we started that that was going to be the case, that she would be eventually taking over the practice. So that's the way we handled it when I got ready to retire.
Wonderful.
So it worked out great.
Well, Jack, I believe it was Carol Hickey worked with you years ago.
Well, she was working actually for Vision First.
Okay.
Not for me. I sold the practice, and I can't remember the dates at all. I've lost all that. To Mindy Gunn, Dr. Gunn, bought the practice, and then she sold it to Vision First.
Okay.
So I was an employee of Vision First then after that for several years. And I don't have much to say about that other than finally retired and enjoy retirement in that it gives me an opportunity to do the things that I should have been doing a long time ago. And that's reading about things that are important, particularly the Bible. Being retired, that has allowed me to focus primarily on that.
You write letters to people every so often, and I think you've written us one as well, thanking us for the adjustment. And what does that mean for you to be able to sit down and write well thought out letters?
Okay, the main reason for that is I just feel like that people need encouragement as much as they need anything. And I don't care what your status is in life, whether it's any level, everybody needs encouragement and acknowledgement and encouragement in order to get on the right path. So that's really the main reason I started writing letters. And I'm thankful for a lot of people in my life. So being grateful for them, I think it's important that they know that I'm grateful to them for things they did for me. So that's primarily the only reason I started writing letters, and then I like doing it.
Well, they always say in self-development books, you know, attitude of gratitude, and that's a lot of wisdom, what you just said. Speaking of wisdom, so you both are a little older than I am, so you've been in the community your whole life.
Yep.
How have you seen the community change over the years? I remember you told me earlier this week that you guys worked on the Speedway when you were 13 years old. So tell us about the community, what you've seen over the years.
Well, we can start with when we grew up in the 30s and the 40s. You know, everybody's status was going through the Depression, and that was a big, everybody was not, you know, we all were in it together. People just didn't have a lot. And even during the war and after the war, the people really looked out for each other. It was a time when simple things, and everything was simple. Of course, I'm not saying that's bad or that's good, because we learned a lot from the hard knocks and growing up. But help me out here a little bit on this. When we got from, you know, after the war and so forth, and got through all that, Salem was always industrious in the fact that they had several industries. And really they've actually maintained most of those. And we really haven't suffered a lot from loss of a huge, you know, we've lost Smith Cabinet and B.F. Goodrich and Link Cannell and that type of thing. But we also had a lot of good things come to Salem. And the community of Salem is a special place. I know they've helped me through my life. They supported my family through the practice of dentistry, and I'll never feel like I've been let down from a point that I want to give it back, and I try to do that as much as I can, but I'll never be able to repay what the people of Salem have done for me.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's the one thing that has not changed is the fact that we used to have a lot of, and we still do have a lot of great organizations that do a lot for the community. But most of the good things that get started is with the individual. We've had so many great individuals over the years that have just taken it on themselves to make the place better. And I think that's the one thing that has not changed. We still have a lot of those people, and they're still doing a great job. So even though the good old days weren't necessarily the good old days, the people that were doing the good things, we've still got people doing that right now. And that's what's kept our community really going, I think, more than anything.
I am so I'm actually a transplant. So I'm from Bloomington originally, both me and Ellen, and I consider I know I moved to the big city of Salem, but this is my home. You know, I am. It's different here than anywhere else I've ever lived, and so I'm so glad that you guys said that, and I'm so glad that tradition of caring and giving and good people doing good things in this community is still continuing and has been for years.
I can think of so many people that made a difference, and that was the difference, is because there were certain individuals that made it their project to make a difference in the community, and people like Jess Helsel and Burl Jean and gosh, I could go on and on and on. The people that have just given everything, and then they have influenced the other individuals to do the same thing. So even though all these community betterment organizations are a good thing, it still takes that individual and his exercising his responsibility to make it happen.
Wow. And historically, you can go back and even really early days, we had pioneers at one time. Salem was noted as the Athens of the West because of their colleges. They had the first female college. Female college, this is in the 1800s, you'd never heard of.
Yeah.
So Salem was innovative, and it was early on that they had outstanding people.
Well, this has been absolutely awesome. I do have to ask, so you both have been coming for the last handful of months to the office. How has chiropractic helped you?
Well, it made me, as you know, it made me taller.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, when I started out, I was shorter than you. Now I'm taller than you. But it just allowed me, when I first came in here, I couldn't get off of that table.
Yes.
I had to fall off. And you remember that, now I can't jump up off of it, but I can make it up on my own. So it's really helped my mobility tremendously.
Wonderful.
And lessened the pain in the process.
Right.
Okay, I just feel better. A lot better.
Good.
Well, after those 59 years of practicing, I was like this, for 59 years, bent over with the patient, and I've had 2 back surgeries and had issues with actually for vertebrae, from cervical all the way down to the sacral, and it straightened me up too. It straightened me up physically. Maybe we're going to get to the mental part later, but I don't know. But it did straighten me up, and I've got to maintain some discipline about doing the things that, as far as physical therapies and things that I need to continue that will help. But basically, overall, it was a tremendous help for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me on this episode, and thank you for all that you do in our community. Because even though you are retired, you're still heavily involved in our community, and I just want to thank you for all that you guys do.
Alrighty.
And thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Thriving with Chiropractic.
That's all, folks.
Thank you for joining. We truly hope Thriving with Chiropractic is making a positive impact on your health and wellness. Please comment and share this episode. We would love to hear from you. And as always, remember, your story matters.